For each umbilical, we want to make sure that there's multiple redundancy, multiple levels of redundancy built into the system to ensure that if something fails, we want to be safe so that we don't have what we call a Cat 1 failure mode, which is that we would then experience a loss of mission, or that we wouldn't make the clearance envelope. And so for each umbilical, which means, for example, we would have a ICPSU umbilical, or we have a core stage umbilical. And so there might be similar designs, but for each one, there's a unique redundancy design. And so we applied reliability designs on each one, reliability requirements on each one of those umbilicals, but then we also applied certain redundancy requirements. So, for example, on the core stage forward skirt umbilical, your primary release mechanism is an electrical signal to a collet that releases. If that fails, what you have is you have a shear pin, and then you basically have a pneumatic cylinder that yanks on a wire, and as soon as that wire yanks back, it's with enough force that it basically breaks the shear pin, and it'll pull the plate back, and then the arm retracts. And so there's a full secondary mechanism, and we'll test that secondary mechanism. We did it at least 4 times, and so we know basically everything works in a number of different configurations at a number of edges of envelopes. The ICPSU, which has a different ground plate configuration, has a number of different secondary retract modes, but basically we have full redundancy in there as well. And in some cases, we also have tertiary failure modes depending on the likelihood of each one of those. And so what we do is we go through likelihoods and then design it in for each one of those umbilicals. The TSMUs, which are your tail service mast umbilicals, also have, again, similar sorts of designs, because what we do is we figure out what is high likelihood, what will work, and then design it in based off that. For all of our umbilicals, as far as the human rating requirements versus non-human rating requirements, I mean, we're testing them to a very full, robust level. Probably the biggest difference for us when we move to the Block 1B is we're going to be moving into a new design of our umbilicals for the upper stage. And so we will be testing the new EUS upper stage umbilicals at the LETF. And so we are in the process of designing those new umbilicals. They actually just dropped our 30% design. And so we will be doing that new testing, that round of umbilicals at the LETF. So we're preparing for that, we're designing those. And so this ICPSU umbilical, which is, again, a very complex, long test campaign, will be used for one flight, and then we will move to the new EUS umbilical. The new EUS design, we are going to simplify and leverage some of our successes from other umbilical designs that we did.